Welcome back to another deep dive. Today, I want to start by asking you to just close your eyes for a second.
Well, obviously not if you're driving or so.
Right. Yeah. Please keep your eyes on the road. But if you can picture this, you are standing on a tightrope.
And this isn't, a circus act with a nice safety net underneath you either.
No, it is stretched between two massive skyscrapers, thousands of feet in the air.
It is a truly terrifying image to start with.
And it gets worse. To your left, you can't see the ground at all. It's just a wall of thick, heavy fog.
Yeah, vertigo-inducing.
Exactly. And to your right, there's a freezing wind howling, just trying to push you off balance. It's cold and it's incredibly dangerous.
So why are we visualizing this nightmare?
Well, keep that image in your head because according to the source material we are covering today, which is a text called PMR versus PMR by Jorge Beltran, this isn't just a nightmare scenario. This is basically a map of your life.
It really is. Beltran argues that whether we realize it or not, we're all on that wire. And the core conflict of this text isn't about the rope itself. It's about what you were actually doing on it.
Right, and this is where the major distinction comes in. Beltran says there are basically two types of people on this tightrope. The majority, and I think I might belong to this group more often than I'd like to admit, are the lowercase p mister.
Which stands for Personas de Mínimo Risco.
Right, or people of minimum risk.
What are they doing on the rope?
They're sitting down, they are clinging to the rope with their eyes squeezed, shut knuckles, totally white, just praying the wind doesn't pick up.
They call themselves prudent.
Yeah, they tell themselves, if I just stay perfectly still, I'm safe.
Which brings us to the minority. The uppercase PMR Personas de Maximo Risco, or maximum risk people.
And they are doing something completely different.
They aren't sitting, they are standing up, and they are running.
Okay, let's just stop right there. Running on a tightrope in the fog. That sounds absolutely insane.
It sounds like a death wish, honestly.
Yeah, why would anyone do that?
It does sound reckless, doesn't it?
Yeah.
But this is the crux of Beltran's argument. The runners aren't running because they're crazy. They are running because they see something the sitters are completely ignoring.
Which is?
They see that the rope is fraying.
The rope is actually fraying.
It's decaying. The world, the economy, the technology, your own skills, it is all kinetic. It moves. It changes constantly.
So sitting still doesn't help.
Right. If you sit still on a fraying rope, gravity eventually wins. The PMR realizes that the only way to survive is to move faster than the decay.
Wow.
So in this specific environment, stillness isn't safety at all. Stillness is actually the most dangerous thing you can do.
That is a massive paradigm shift. So today's mission is to really unpack this manifesto. And I'll be honest, reading through this, it didn't feel like a standard self-help book.
Not at all.
It felt like an operating system update for my brain, a slightly aggressive one, to be fair.
It is very aggressive. It challenges that illusion of safety we all cling to. It's basically a manual for reasserting yourself in a volatile world.
And fair warning to everyone listening, a lot of what we discuss today is going to feel very counterintuitive.
It goes against practically everything our survival instincts tell us to do.
So let's get into the definitions. Because Beltran uses a metaphor here that hit way too close to home for me. The swimming pool.
Ah, yes, the swimming pool. This is the perfect way to distinguish these two mindsets.
So imagine a swimming pool. The water is freezing cold. We've all been there, right?
Oh, yeah.
The lowercase PMR, the prudent person, is the one taking the stairs.
Right, they go inch by inch, they dip a toe in, they splash some water on their wrists.
They stand on the first step, shivering and hugging themselves, complaining about how cold it is.
Exactly. They're trying desperately not to mess up their hair or experience any sudden shock.
I am definitely that person. I absolutely hate the cold shock.
Most people do. The PMR strategy is to prolong the suffering in the name of caution. They think entering slowly is safer, but really they are just extending the torture.
And the uppercase PMR.
They are up on the diving board. They aren't even looking at the stairs. They just jump.
Like a cannonball.
Whatever gets them in fastest, they know the shock is going to be instant. They don't delude themselves that the water is somehow warm.
But they also know the immersion is total.
Precisely. They trade 30 minutes of shivering anxiety for 3 seconds of shock and immediate adaptation.
Okay, I get the metaphor. But let's play devil's advocate here for a second. In a pool, the worst that happens is you get wet. In life, if you jump off a diving board without looking in more, you could hit concrete.
It's a very fair point.
Isn't this maximum risk philosophy just advocating for being a kamikaze?
That is the most common misconception, and it's so important we debunk it right now. Beltran is very clear on this. Being a PMR is not about being suicidal.
Right.
It's not about gambling your life savings on a whim. It is about calculation.
But they are jumping.
They are jumping, yes.
Yeah.
But the maximum risk person calculates the depth of the pool, the wind speed, and the resistance before they ever leave the board.
So they aren't going in blind.
Not at all. They are hyper-aware. The difference isn't that they ignore risk. The difference is the metric they use to calculate cost.
This was the part where I had to pause and reread. The math is just fundamentally different.
Completely different. The lowercase PMR asks, what do I lose if I do this? They are paralyzed by the fear of loss.
Loss of face, loss of money, loss of comfort.
Exactly. And the PMR,
They ask a completely different question, right?
they ask, what is the cost of not doing this? They are obsessed with opportunity cost.
Give me a real-world example of that, because opportunity cost sounds like something from an Economics 101 textbook.
Okay, think about asking for a raise at work. The prudent person, the sitter on the rope, thinks if I ask and they say no, it'll be awkward.
My boss might get annoyed with me.
Right, I'll feel rejected. The cost of action seems incredibly high to them, so they stay silent.
That feels logical, though. Safety first.
But the PMR looks at the cost of inaction. If you don't ask, you are guaranteeing you won't get it.
Yeah, that's true.
You are paying the cost of a year of stagnation. You are paying the cost of your skills being undervalued. The PMR realizes that doing nothing is actually an active choice with a very heavy price tag.
We're like talking to someone interesting at a networking conference. The prudent choice is to stay in the corner and check your email so you don't look awkward.
Exactly. And the cost of that is a lifetime of what if. The PMR realizes that the pain of what if is actually much heavier than the pain of a momentary rejection.
Okay, so let's say I'm sold on the jumping. I jump, but because I'm moving fast and taking risks, inevitably I'm going to crash. I'm going to screw up.
You absolutely crash.
And usually when I screw up, I just want to hide under the covers. But the text has a whole section on this called The Alchemy of Failure. It describes the PMR office.
Oh, this is a brutal description. This is in a traditional low-risk environment, the office smells like fear.
Smells like fear. That is such a visceral image.
It is. In those environments, errors are treated like viruses. If you make a mistake, you are infected. You are marked.
So everyone spends their energy hiding their mistakes.
Hiding mistakes, blaming others, or just doing nothing so they can't be accused of doing it wrong.
Which means literally no one learns anything.
Precisely.
Yeah.
But for the PMR error is strategic information. Beltran describes what he calls the geometric lie.
This was fascinating. We tend to visualize success and failure as opposite directions right, like a compass. Success is north, failure is south.
Right, so we think if we want to get to success, we have to run as far away from failure as possible.
But Beltran argues that is a complete lie.
He said success and failure are in the exact same direction. You have to pass through the territory of error to arrive at the destination of mastery.
So you simply can't go around it.
You have to go through it. And the PMR has a specific process for this. They don't just fail and cry about it. They use an alchemy process.
There are 3 steps here. Step 1 is data extraction.
This is very clinical. It's not emotional at all. They crash, they get up, and they ask, what variable did I miss?
Was it the timing, the tone, the product itself?
Exactly. They strip the emotion entirely out of it and just look for the data point.
Step 2 seems like the hardest one for most people. Elimination of guilt.
This is crucial. In our culture, we constantly conflate the event with our identity. We say, I am a failure.
While the PMR says I failed.
Those are 2 totally different sentences.
Yeah.
One is a permanent state of being, and the other is just a temporary event. You have to separate your ego from the crash.
And that leads to step 3, which is injection of speed.
This is the Phoenix effect. Now that you know what doesn't work, you actually have a massive advantage. You've eliminated a wrong path.
So you shouldn't slow down to lick your wounds?
No, you should actually move faster because your map is now more accurate than the person who hasn't failed yet.
It's like they are operating in permanent beta.
That's the exact term the book uses. Think of yourself as software. You aren't some finished product carved in stone. You are an app that releases patches every 24 hours.
If version 1.0 crashes, you don't delete the whole app.
You just release version 1.1 with a bug fix. The PMR is liquid. They adapt constantly.
I think the reason most of us don't operate like software is because we get stuck in the paralysis of analysis. The text uses the metaphor of the archer.
The PMR archer. They stand there with the bow drawn. They measure the wind speed. They check the humidity. They check the tension of the string.
They recheck the wind.
Always rechecking. They are aiming for absolute perfection.
But they never actually shoot the arrow.
They never shoot. And because life is kinetic while they are measuring, The target has already moved.
So their measurements are now entirely wrong.
So they have to measure again. It's an endless loop of doing nothing. The PMR archer, on the other hand, they just shoot.
Even if they aren't totally sure.
They shoot to find out. They see the arrow lands 10 feet to the left. Great. Now they have actual real-world data. They adjust and shoot again. They find the target through iteration, not through calculation.
This directly leads to the 70% rule. Now, I have to be honest, when I read this, my inner perfectionist started absolutely screaming.
I can imagine.
The rule states if you have 70% of the information, you have enough to act.
Yeah.
But 70%. That sounds so sloppy. If I'm a surgeon, I don't want to operate with 70% of the info. If I'm building a bridge, I want 100% certainty.
And if you are building a bridge or doing heart surgery, please, by all means, get 100%.
Okay, good.
But Beltran isn't talking about life or death engineering here. He's talking about life decisions. Launching a project, asking someone out, changing careers. In those arenas, waiting for 100% is a total trap.
Why is it a trap?
Because by the time you have 100% certainty, the opportunity is completely gone. If you wait for 90%, you are late. If you wait for 100%, you are irrelevant.
Because someone else has already shot the arrow.
Exactly.
So we wait for 100%, not because we actually need it, but because it just feels safe.
It's an illusion of certainty. We analyze not for accuracy, but as a shield against the shame of looking foolish.
We think if I analyze this for 6 months and it fails, at least I was thorough.
But if I launch in 24 hours and fail, people might call me impulsive. Analysis is often just a very clever defense mechanism for the ego.
To break that defense mechanism, the text proposes a 24-hour jump challenge.
This is such a great tool to unstick yourself. If you have been analyzing a decision for more than a month, the text says you have exactly 24 hours to do one of 3 things. Number 1, launch a minimal version of it. Just put it out there.
Number 2 is pay money to commit to it.
Right. Burn the ships. Buy the domain, sign the lease, hire the coach. Make it financially painful to back out.
And number 3, and honestly, this one was actually relief, to read abandon it forever.
Yes, just kill it. If we aren't going to do it, stop carrying around the mental load. That maybe is just draining your battery. Free up the RAM in your brain for something else.
Let's shift gears a bit to comfort. Because let's be real, comfort feels really good. Why is the source attacking comfort so hard? It calls it the golden cage.
It attacks it because comfort is highly deceptive. Beltran argues that comfortable stagnation is the most dangerous state you can be in because there is no biological incentive to change.
If your life is actively falling apart, you have urgency, you move.
Exactly. But if things are just fine, not great, but fine, you stay put. You are locked in the golden cage.
But why is staying put so bad if things are fine?
Because of the tightrope. Remember, the rope is fraying. Stability is an optical illusion. Think of the treadmill analogy. If you stand still on a moving treadmill, what happens?
You just go backward.
Right. The world is moving forward. Technology, AI, the global economy, it's all accelerating. If you are just maintaining your current skills and current lifestyle, you are actually depreciating.
You are becoming obsolete while just sitting in your comfortable chair.
Exactly.
So we need a thirst for more. But usually when people hear the word more, they instantly think of greed. They think of a hamster wheel.
And that's a very valid fear. But Beltran distinguishes between 2 types of growth. There's horizontal growth and vertical growth.
What's the main difference there?
Horizontal growth is the PMR trap. It's just more of the exact same thing.
Yeah.
More stuff, more hours working, running faster on the exact same level. That is the hamster wheel.
And vertical growth.
Vertical growth is jumping to an entirely higher level of complexity. It's not doing more of the job, it's changing who you are.
Going from employee to creator, for example.
Or from creator to leader. It's about expanding your capability, not just increasing your volume.
And the PMR fundamentally understands that this vertical growth requires friction.
Always. The pain threshold. If a decision doesn't scare you at least a little bit, you aren't going for more in the vertical sense you were just repeating yesterday.
Okay, so this all sounds great in theory, embrace the fear and all that, but practically that is really hard to do. If I'm not used to taking risks, I'm just going to freeze up.
And that is exactly why the text introduces the concept of the risk diet.
I loved this part, even though it honestly terrified me. It starts with a concept called hormesis. Now, I had to look this up because it sounds like a weird skin condition.
It does sound super clinical, but it's actually a fascinating biological concept. Think about weightlifting. If you have soft hands and you try to deadlift 500 pounds, you're going to completely rip your skin off.
Right, obviously.
But if you lift lighter weights consistently, you build calluses. Hormesis is that biological process where a small dose of stress actually makes the organism stronger.
And Beltran argues bravery works the exact same way.
It's a muscle, not a gift. You build a bravery callus by deliberately exposing yourself to small, manageable risks.
And he gives a literal menu for this diet, and I have to say some of these items are basically nightmare fuel for me.
They are completely designed to be uncomfortable.
Let's talk about Rejection Mondays. The prompt is, go to a coffee shop and ask for a discount. Just ask for it.
Like literally just say, can I get 10% off?
I am sweating just thinking about doing that. Why would I do that? I'd rather pay double for the coffee than have the barista look at me like I'm a crazy person.
And that reaction you just had right there, that visceral I'd rather die than be awkward feeling, that is the cage talking. That is the PMR mindset completely controlling your behavior.
Okay, point taken.
The point of the exercise isn't to save 50 cents on a latte. It's to prove to your amygdala, the fear center of your brain, that hearing the word no doesn't actually kill you.
It physically desensitizes you to the fear of rejection.
Exactly. You realize, oh, they said no, and I'm still standing here, and the sky didn't fall. You get a rip in.
Then there's Speed Wednesdays, making 3 decisions in under 60 seconds each.
That trains your intuition. We spend so much wasted time overthinking lunch or what to watch on Netflix. This forces you to trust your gut and just move.
And sensory risk, taking cold showers or fasting.
This connects the physical body to the mental state. If you can handle the physical shock of freezing cold water at 6 a.m., the mental shock of sending a difficult email at 9 a.m. feels so much smaller. You're training the body that discomfort is entirely safe.
There is another really cool strategy mentioned called asymmetric betting. This sounds like a finance term, but it applies to everything right.
It does. It's really a overarching strategy for how to structure your life choices.
Break that down for us a bit.
Okay, imagine a simple betting game. The prudent person, the PMR, bets $100 on an outcome that is 99% likely to happen.
Just to win $1.
Exactly. They risk a huge amount of capital to gain a tiny safe return. They are basically picking up pennies in front of a steamroller. If they lose big.
And the PMR does the complete opposite.
The PMR places 10 bets of $10 each. They fully assume 9 of them will go to zero. They lose the money. Fine. They expect it.
But the 10th one?
The 10th one might return $1,000. That's asymmetric betting. Capping your downside so it doesn't ruin you, but leaving your upside infinite.
So in real life, this is like keeping your day job but starting a side hustle or writing a book.
Exactly. Or investing a small amount in a startup. The cost is just some time and a bit of money. If it fails, you're right back where you started.
But if it hits, it's a home run.
The PMR plays for the home run, while the PMA plays just to not strike out.
Now, doing all of this is hard enough on your own, but it's practically impossible if your friends are dragging you down. The text talks about social gravity.
This is maybe the harshest truth in the entire book.
Yeah.
You really are the average of the people you surround yourself with.
If you were trying to stand up on the tightrope and run, but everyone around you is sitting down and clinging to the rope, they aren't just going to quietly watch you.
They are actively going to pull you down.
Because your movement makes them look bad.
Exactly. Your bravery highlights their cowardice. The text calls these PMR circles echo chambers of excuses. They just validate each other's fears. Oh, don't take that job. It's too risky. Don't move to that city. It's too expensive.
So you actively need a high-voltage environment.
You need a circle that acts as a particle accelerator, people who are moving even faster than you are. And there's a great audit in the book. If you are the smartest or most successful person in the room, you are in the wrong room.
You need SCAR mentors. I really loved that term.
Yes, not just mentors who have read a bunch of books, but mentors who have actual scars. People who have failed, survived, and can look you in the eye and say the fall won't kill you.
Okay, we're coming to the end here. The text wraps up by talking about unlearning. Why unlearning? Why not just focus on learning new things?
Because most of us are like a full cup. There's that famous Zen story about a master pouring tea into a student's already full cup, and it just spills everywhere.
You cannot learn the PMR mindset if you are full of your old PMR programming.
Right, so you have to delete some files. The text lists 3 specific viruses that need to be wiped.
The first one is the virus of tradition.
It's always been done this way, as she sees. That kills innovation instantly. Then there's the virus of rigid specialization.
The idea that I only do X, I'm not a tech person or I'm not a salesperson.
Exactly. And the third one?
The virus of past security.
Believing that what made you safe yesterday will definitely keep you safe tomorrow. That is the most dangerous one because it feels like wisdom, but it's actually just nostalgia.
You have to be willing to unlearn your own past success to build the next version of yourself.
Absolutely.
The book finally wraps up with a 30-day boot camp. It doesn't just leave you with this high-level philosophy, it gives you a literal schedule.
It's a highly structural approach to all the things we just talked about.
Yeah.
Week 1 is waking up auditing your life for safety traps. Week 2 is the diet going out and actively seeking rejection.
Week 3 is pruning cutting toxic ties.
And week 4 is the leap, actually launching that beta project.
It's pretty clear the author doesn't want this to be something you just casually read and put on a shelf.
No. He literally says the book should be burned in practice. Knowledge without execution is just entertainment.
If you listen to this deep dive and don't change anything, you just entertained yourself for 20 minutes. You are still just sitting on the rope.
As we sign off, there's a final distinction the author makes that I think is really beautiful. He says the world doesn't belong to those who are right.
The people who are obsessed with being right are usually just sitting on the sidelines criticizing the actual players.
The world belongs to those who move, the runners. Even if they trip, even if they look foolish, they are the ones actually making history.
And there is one final question to leave our listener with. It's the last question from the text.
If today were the last day of your life, would you be proud of having played it safe on this issue? Whatever that specific thing is that you're struggling with right now.
That really cuts through all the noise, doesn't it?
It really does. It completely clarifies the stakes.
And think about this too. What if the safe choice is actually the only guaranteed way to fail in the long run? What hidden opportunity cost are you paying right now just to feel comfortable today?
It's a heavy thought to sit with.
So here's the challenge for you listening right now. Apply the new standard. If it scares you, do it. If you are comfortable, move.
Don't look at the fog. Find your wings in the void.
Thanks for diving in with us. We'll see you on the next one. Don't stay on the stairs. Just
Yeah.
jump.